wonder, can we get to this? Can we hit target? But at the time PVC is being circulated, I think there's something we're not doing. If you look at issues that pertain Southwest, issues that pertain the area west, as soon as they're not comfortable with anything, they're online, they're tagging, they're shouting, they're dragging that government agency, and within a week or two, you will see the agency will attend to it. Imagine if this was Southwest, in a place like Abeokuta, Ibadan, Ogbomoso, Ilesha, people cannot vote. The kind of noise that the Southwest will make online, the way they would drag ANEC, they will tag them left and right. Even the INEC chairman will run out of his office. So we're not doing that. And we have Igbo community. The Igbo community is quite big now on Twitter. We have a voice. We should decide, okay, on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're tagging them. We're having a hashtag, or what do we call it? SouthEast for PVC, INEC, or whatever. We'll be tagging them, making all the complaints with pictures and videos. And before you know, we'll get an extension. People will get an extension. Even if they say it's 1 more month or 3 weeks, it goes a long way. Because if you look at the chart, we've produced less than 700,000, and that's poor. At the end of the day, it looks like the South is taking our position. So we need to, in addition to what we're doing, like what everybody is doing, try to make sure people are registering in the market, people are registering in churches, and all over the place. But we also need to escalate this issue. Escalation is important. Bola Tinubu escalated the fact that they were going to kick him out of the primaries. And at the end of the day, Buhari had no choice but to allow the primaries hold. When you begin to make noise, people will see that they will just, even when it's obvious that they want to hit you below the belt, they will just match the break. We need to take advantage of the fact that we have a huge online presence now. The president shouldn't just go for anything. We shouldn't accept what is going on. We should be tagging them. Like today I said on my timeline, I said, listen, we need to tag these people. And people just started tagging INEC. If like 20, 30 more people are doing it, hashtagging them, before you know, they will sit up. Because whatever we are saying, if you look at it, it's a deliberate act. People living in Sokoto, in Maiduguri, in Kaduna, in Kafanchan, in Nasarawa are not complaining of not being able to vote, So how come this is prevalent in the Southeast? And every election cycle, this is the same thing. It's a deliberate ploy to keep you at the smallest pace, of this very strategic thing. That's just all I want to say. I yield the mic.
Thank you so much. So we go over to Mr. Soft. Make it brief, Mr. Soft, and after that, then the Iana Chow. Mr. Soft.
Yeah, hello, good evening to you.
Please kindly mute all. You should mute. Veshini should mute. You should mute your mic, please.
Okay. Hello. I hope all you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Go
hello.
Ahead.
Okay. I'm speaking from Aba. At least I've been in this place for a while now, and I've not heard anybody saying that he's coming from Aba. The thing is this. I've been on this space, and I've been hearing a lot that a lot of you have been saying, but we are the ones on ground, because the last speaker that spoke said that Lagos, that he doesn't think there is any big deal, as in they are not having any challenges. But we that are on ground here, I can tell you categorically that there's a lot of challenges. One of the challenges is I've been able to go to some of the local government areas that is around Abia State. I've gone to Aba North, I've gone to Aba South, I've gone to Obingwa, and it looks as if INEC are instrumental in slowing us down. Like you said before, that people that are around this area, that they are business-minded people, and sometimes they come very late, and those people meet. So I'm seeing a situation where we can maybe get all these machines to the market. If you are able to go to INEC, I've gone there and I've inquired, they say for them to move the machine from the local government to wherever you want them to come, that is 15,000 naira. So if you're able to get them out to strategic places like the market, especially the market, people will register and vote. Secondly, it is very difficult to get people to convince people around here because of this narrative that the vote don't count and everything. The time and the effort that you put into convincing one person to go and get his PVC, register and vote and collect the voter's card is equivalent to the strength you use to convince like 10 or 15 people from the Southwest. So this is one of the challenges that we are meeting. If we can be able to go to INEC office and get machines out into those markets, we can get 1 million. 1 million is not a big deal. But the only thing is INEC is helping to frustrate the whole process. So if you're able to get them out to those markets, people will register and people will vote. So
all right, thank you so much.
I yield the mic.
I think, yeah, Mr. Soft, thank you so much. I think one of the things, please mute your mic. Everyone should mute their mic, please. I think one of the things that is clearly lacking in the Southeast is the civil society organization. People who should be, shouting, speaking when some of these anomalies are happening. And you find out that people don't even talk, or there is no collectivity, there is no collective voice, there's no collective effort from any group of anything. So when these guys, when INEC or anybody starts misbehaving or start doing what they're doing, they don't get any backlashes. They don't get any form of attack, or dragging from anyone, because that is very instrumental. It's very important, unlike what is obtainable maybe in the Southwest or in the North. And again, we don't also have media where we can use to spin this out of proportion, talk about this. And ultimately, we also do not have people who, what we call human rights activists, people who can take initiative or, take it upon themselves as a group to sue INEC. So can we start mobilizing as a group of lawyers, to start taking legal steps against INEC on this very issue? If they refuse to bring machine, and we have demonstrated that we have certain number of people registered already. For example, if we have a clear evidence that over 500,000 people have pinned down their name, we will have a serious case in the court. And I don't think INEC would want to entertain that. So what we can do is to do the part we can, get people to pin down their name. If what is currently happening in Alaba, in Enugu, in Aba, in all these places, they usually converge. It's something that I believe that we use is a strategy. We put certain type of strategy, we're able to reduce it, to minimize the way people converge in these locations. So let's go over to Hanacho anyway. But that's my opinion. That's what I think we should start doing. Lawyers in our midst, what do you have to say? Do you think it is the right time for us to start, pressing serious legal charges against the independent National Electoral Commission? Or should we continue to look at them, mess with our destiny? Are we going to continue like this? So, Iheanacho, let's hear from you.
Anyway, most of my thoughts have already been touched. It's quite unfortunate what we are seeing and experiencing in our own region. Even though, like you mentioned earlier, the issue of people from the Southeast waiting until this time. I remember myself, I got my own PVC 2 years ago, and it was seamless. I visited Umuahia, walked into the INEC office in Umuahia town. In less than 10 minutes, or let me say 20 minutes max, I was already leaving the place with my PVC printed. I finished the registration that day. Then the following day, I went back and I picked up my PVC. I mean, having to wait this time is the reason why we are being frustrated as a people. I only wish things will pick up for us and we can get this thing going. Now, for Mr. Soft mentioned something about our ability to get INEC to take their computers and leave their comfort zone and go meet up our people where they are. I think as people, I actually I really wish there is a body, like you said, an NGO or whatever that is looking out for our people, where some of us can contribute this 15,000. I don't mind. I can even pay what's it called, 30,000 naira to pick up two different systems and force INEC to pick those systems and go meet our people. Every other region is using the strategy that works for them. We know that our people are business oriented. Imagine today, Alaba International has to shut down. What stops the business minded people in Alaba to raise this 15,000 naira and move this system to their comfort zone? You won't have this whole we are being attacked. No, no, they not born any Yoruba person well to enter trade fair or enter Alaba to disrupt PVC registration. Why are we not strategically thinking the way out of this thing? Why are we allowing them to play the same game? It doesn't, like the guy. I'm hearing for the first time that I can pay 15,000 naira to INEC and INEC will move. And I'm saying it here. If there is any verified body that I can pay at least 30,000 naira to, that they can get INEC to leave that place the INEC sits and bring a computer probably to Area International Market Aba or somewhere that we know we will get people. I am ready to pay. That is the kind of thing we should start thinking. We should no longer.
Okay, Ihanacho,
Yeah.
I like the idea of bringing solution, but what don't you think you are institutionalizing corruption by
No, no. Sorry.
hold up.
Sorry.
I understand the need for us to get things done, but you cannot be doing things anyhow.
No, but sorry. I know this is your space, but let me quickly ask. Yeah, we are expected to go to INEC office. INEC is not expected to move those computers to the market.
No, it's Ihanacho, it's not true.
Okay, correct me,
INEC is
please.
supposed, yes, INEC is supposed to go to closest polling unit, and in most of these markets, they have actually polling units. So it's not true to say INEC is not supposed to. In fact, in all the federation except Southeast, they are in various polling units, either polling units or wards, but they have deployed their workers outside the local government. So, and the excuse they gave, I remember I was in the space and they told us, those who were in the space, that the reason why they are restricting people within local government is because of insecurity.
Yeah.
However, it is interesting to, to listen to INEC says stuff like that, because if that is true, then why would you have only 2 machines within that local government? Only 2. Let's assume that you are supposed to distribute the beavers to all the polling units for this capturing. And now people are converging at the local governments. Are we not supposed to have the polling unit beavers within that local government attending to the population that is, converging at the local government? That is where the crops, the crops of the matter stems from. But I would just keep it at this place because I do not know much details on this. But these are the information that you have to be abreast of before you make your conclusion. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, so that is perfectly said, and like I said, it's more like we are now going to be, crying and trying to now use emotional bargain. I just wish, I pray that we will find. In fact, having given me this information, that means there are more of a problem than solutions as we are looking at it. Maybe I will just yield and then wait for more people to contribute. Probably I will hear something that will also awaken maybe a sense of solution in my own self then. All right. Thank you very much. I yield.
Thank you, bro. So we have who's the next? Luxury gadgets, please.
Can I say something?
Yes, you will. But let's luxury gadgets goes on first.
Okay, good evening. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm the coordinator on Soka PVC registration strategy. After everything, I noticed that majority of these people are always at the market. So I'm here to make a suggestion. If we can get any of the INEC official to take that machine to the market, and also bring more people who can volunteer to bring their computer, get a thumbprint machine for thumbprint and every other thing, I believe we can achieve a lot with that. So the only problem here is to get an INEC official to the market, because these people are not always at home. They are always at the market here in Nsukka. So if you want to get majority of them, you have to go to the market. So after making my inquiry, I found out that an INEC official can give you an access to their website, whereby you can do a registration, do the thumbprint and every other thing. So if we can be able to do this, to get an INEC official to the market, I believe we are going to achieve a lot. So that's the contribution I want to make, to get an INEC official to the market, and also people who can volunteer their laptops and get a thumbprint machine. Thank you.
So tell us within Nsuka, what are the challenges? What are the challenges witnessed so far? And apart from the getting INEX to location, did you guys print the physical form? The other strategy we use, what is the response like?
All right. The Google form, people are registering, and as for the printout form, we haven't done that yet. That will be tomorrow. So that is it. Now tomorrow we can go to various markets to distribute the form. And also I have a question. If we print out that form and started distributing it, when they are done filling, how are we going to do the registration? How are we going to tell them about their biometrics, how they are going to do it? Or is it after filling the form, they will take it to an INEC office?
All right, thank you so much. I will respond to you, but not now. Let's go over to King. Sorry, Okbara. Is it Okbara? Okbara Ikenna.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay.
Please raise your hand if you want to speak so that I will know those I will call upon. Go ahead, Okbara.
All right. Good evening. Now, my own problem is simple, and it looks as if I'm dragging us back. Now, I'm doing revalidation. The problem I have is that after the revalidation, do I need to go to the INEC office, because I want to go to around my office and do the validation for those who have the 2011 card, because of most of them say they can't start going out. So I want to do it with my system around my office, and my office is very big. We have over 1,500 staff. I work with Federal Poly Naked in Owerri. So that is what I want to do. But that validation, I want to know if after validation, what is the next step? That's my question, please.
Okay. After biometric validation, what is the next step? Am I correct?
Yeah.
Is that your question? Okay. The next step is, again, that is the reason why we have to all be part of this. It's also going to link to the question you asked, luxury gadgets. Now, please mute your mic, Okbara. So we have to get involved, because apart from the fact that, like I earlier said, registration may be very seamless. It may be very smooth. But you see, collection of the PVC, getting the PVC, that is where you find so many bottlenecks. Now, if we guide our people to get the PV, to get registered, we'll be able to get them informed when the PVC would be ready for collection. And we're able to direct them properly for them to know where to get go and get PVC. And that is what we are, we are doing across the Southeast, why it is very important. So what I will tell you, luxury gadgets, is that the information you are gathering is going to inform you, or is going to give you access to these individuals who have registered through you. And when they, when the need for them to get biometrics arises, they will be informed and be given specific dates so that there wouldn't be cluster. All right. And this is where we have to work closely with the INEC. See, INEC is here to serve us, and we have to provide enabling environment. And that has been the problem, the excuse they've been given. And that's why we are having this conversation. We need to find a way we can ensure that INEC, follows our own pattern. We must design a pattern that is workable, then project that pattern, tell them, look at this pattern. This is the pattern that we believe that will work with us here in the Southeast in order to get more people registered. And if they do not follow that pattern, then we have a lot of people to show that have been able to apply for the registration or have registered, tender their bio details. And INEC has refused to, if INEC refused to, impute these individuals, then we will be left with no excuse than taking them to court. That's why when I mentioned that there's need for us to also be prepared on that angle. If you're a lawyer, if you can, give us your services for free or something, then we are good to go. We cannot continue to allow them to treat us the way they want. We cannot allow, continue to wait for them to dictate how they're going to be serving us. We have to design something that is workable, something that is something that is good, all right, and demonstrate capacity by having something tangible. For example, if you're able to gather people, if you gather 100,000 people in a local government, for example, I'm just giving an example, INEC refused to register all of them or refuse to register them, then you have something very tangible as an excuse against INEC. So for me, that is the lane I am following. That is the path I am following. We cannot continue to entertain their incompetence, their bureaucracies. We cannot continue to entertain it here in the Southeast. Now, the question of bribery, the question of collecting money from people before they get their PVC and other things. If INEC cannot train their workers to be professional enough, we will also figure a means to get them nailed. We have to we have to be very proactive in this part of the world. We cannot just be, waiting for everything to happen. What stops us from getting the information? This is 21st century. We can get the picture of these people taking bribes. What stops us from, getting this information, taking them to court, making sure that they pay heavily for bribing or try to extort us? Some of these things can be, can be recorded. We can figure a way we can do this. So my point is that we have come to a point whereby we can no longer take any nonsense from these guys, from INEC. We are not here to fight them. We are here to work with them. But if their workers refuse to work with us, then we will have to find a means to, to sort it out. So always complaining, crying cannot solve any problem. What we can do now is to find a strategy on how we will continue to be at the top of the game. Look at what happened in Lagos today. How are we going to circumvent this situation? Let's get our people registered in that booklet, the form. Let's get our people, a lot of our people get registered. Then we will have something concrete against INEC. These are the eligible voters that you are disenfranchising. Then we will involve police. let's police follow us to the polling unit, to the INEC office, and see what will happen. See, our people have refused to take some of these bold steps. What stopped? I'm not blaming our people for being attacked anyway, but this has happened. What next? That is the point. This event doesn't happen. What are we going to do next? Because we're not going to dwell on that. So that's actually what I want us. I want us to look at the solution, ways we can solve this problem rather than throwing complaint. But if you have questions, you can as well. Chiwike, go ahead and make your contribution. You're welcome.
In addition, Uche, we have multiple local governments in the east in different states, so we should look for cluster points in different local governments. We have maybe set up a little bit of a committee, and whereby cluster points can be created, whereby people can go and use the Google form to write names of people. Then you submit it to the INEC officers, and they can give us the date that this set of numbers, this set of names can come and get their biometrics done. And we are heading towards the weekend, so people can, this message can be disseminated in churches and every other places that people gather, so that when we have the numbers in form of those forms, we can know that, okay, this is the number we are actually registering at this moment. So it will reduce the crowd at that INEC office, because I think most of these problems is coming from the fact that people are even going to meet them. So when we go there in orderly manner, we know that these are the numbers that we are registering at every point in time, and they give us a date where they can come and do the biometrics. Then it works for us. And also, someone talked about market. Yeah, market is a very, very good place for them to come and do their job, but I think they are really adamant right now, because I saw multiple videos showing where some of them saying that they don't want to, if they are not paying money, they can't register people. So we need some people there to actually make audio or video recording of an INEC officer making such assertions, so that we can use that as an evidence when we are going to sue them in court. Because from what I'm saying is that we're just hearing third-party information. For the Alaba people, I know they only talked about Alaba people. We also have people in Mandilas and Yaba and other cluster of Igbo people. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can hear you.
Yeah, because we are only talking about Alaba right now. There's Ikeja, there's Mandilas, there's Yaba, there are other places like Oyingbo also. Those are clusters of market traders, especially from Igbo extraction, that are not even looking at this, what will I call it, this voters registration. So we need to sensitize those people, use the Google form, create committees around those axes, and get their names registered at the INEC office. Because apart from doing all these things, we going there and cause all these things, we all actually put us at arm's length. So what I'm trying to say is that if people can link up with a group called Take Back Nigeria in all those smaller places, and we can work together with those people, then we can get those names. The fact that we don't have names already written with those Google form, I didn't know that this Google form approach is even available. Since this Google form approach is available, then we have good advantage on our side. So we should just stay at let them stay at wherever they work, and use the Google form to get such information and disseminate it to the INEC office. That's just what I want to say right now.
All right, thank you so much, Echunike. Let's go over to the next speaker. Veshni, if you can hear me.
Yes, good evening. I can hear
Yeah,
you
good
loud
evening.
and clear. First, I want to thank Anambra First Son for organizing this listening. I just got out of call from people in the village. I wanted to understand the vibe of what is going on there. And they're on course in the registration, and they said it's going smoothly in somewhere in Imo State. around
Where
Abombise,
exactly? Okay, I'm busy. All
around
right.
around Abombise area. So I'm still in development in this regard because most of the people there are elderly. So my goal is to get more local people at home to get involved, not just the youth, but the elderly. What I found out is the message is out there, but of course, the will to push ahead needs more, like more messaging, more understanding from our end here. Again, I want to talk about the issue of mobilization. I was reading about Stacey Abrams in Georgia. I think the Igbos are having almost the same issue the blacks have in America when it comes to voter suppression and attitude. Uh, Luckily, during this obese movement, it's almost as if a lot of Igbo people and non-Igbo people finally had a reason to do the right thing. You know, and we need to drive on that wind of change blowing right now, where people can say, okay, this guy maybe he is different from all the others, and let them do the right thing. So I read what Stacey Abraham did in Georgia, and I discovered that there was a lot of volunteering going on, which is growing here. We need to do more volunteering, right? We need to get people to do this, in clusters. I think somebody mentioned clusters. In clusters, 2, 3 people form a unit and go out there to not just pass this message, to encourage people to go out there. I've been a one-man evangelist, so every time I go out, I gather people, I tell them about this, get your PVC. This is not even about voting OB. We're not there yet of voting OB. We're saying get your PVC and make a choice so that at the end of the voting, if your choice gives you bad results, right? That is the message I'm passing. If your choice gives you bad results, you are convicted in your heart that you made that choice. So that next time with your PVC, you can make a better choice. That's the whole idea. So I think we need to volunteer more. I think we need to work with civil society groups. There are not much of them in the Southeast. We need to work with them places. I saw what happened today in Alaba. I felt very sad about it. And somebody here, I think, is Ihe Nacho. Ihe Nacho said, Yoruba, no. I would advise, because of the times we are in, people are trying to label, for example, the candidate of Obi. They're trying to put him in a box of an Igbo candidate. No, I am for competency, and Obi represent that. If Obi was a Fulani and he's this competent, I will push for him just the way I'm pushing for him now. So I think when we see thugs issue in Lagos, we need to call it what it is. It's not Yoruba thugs. It's not all Yorubas that are supporting Tinubu. There are Yorubas who are on this movement for Peter Obi and for PVC. So maybe when we need to address some of this issue, we need to also be careful with our language so that we do not create reason for some people to say, you see these people, they are trying, the way they always say these things. These are political talks attached to Tinubu. That's it. Tinubu is just one man. We need to call it what it is. These are not Yoruba talk. There is no evidence anywhere that the Yorubas have formed a talk group to attack the Igbos. There's nothing like that. So that's just what I wanted to say. We need to be careful with words, and we need to do more volunteer on this issue. Have a good evening, guys. I'm really enjoying this time.
Thank you so much, Veshni, for that, calling our attention on that very. Actually thought about that, but skipped my mind. However, whatever you say, or however you try to shape your mouth to say whatever you want to say, it will still not change certain elements who are hell-bent on painting a particular picture. But I think ultimately you don't have to give them, that room. You don't have to score an own goal. You don't have to give them that chance to, to perpetuate that narrative. But I thank you so much, and other suggestions and ideas you laid there. So we go to Sydney. Sydney, if you can hear me, unmute yourself and let's have your opinion.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
But before you go ahead, I would like to hear people from Enugu. I've not heard from there. I would like to hear people from Onitsha. I will also would like to hear people in Lagos today who experienced what happened. I would like to hear people from the Ebonyi states and other places as well. So let's keep requesting for Mike and keep sharing this across your timeline so that we can have more people to join. Thank you. Go ahead, Sydney.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, I think most of the guys are really hitting the nail on the head. One thing we need to realize is that this election is make or mar for Nigeria, and that the political elite are not going to let go easily. So all the things we are seeing is just their first stage. There is voter apathy generally in Igbo land. However, the Obi phenomenon is what is making it suddenly people feel maybe we have a chance. And so that's why there's this mad rush suddenly across the board. And it looks like, oh, we are late to the party. But we have just seen that maybe we can actually make it happen. Now, and one of the speakers, I think, I don't know, I forgot his name, he talked about making noise and creating mobilization. So one thing we need to do is that we're a social media generation. So we must capitalize on that ability to push from that end. So people have their cameras, people can video things. When you have these videos, one of the things that Nigeria doesn't like, and that's why they try to clamp down on Twitter, is that we can escalate it. We escalate it to high levels. For instance, every video I get now, I post it on INEC and I post it on African Union and I distribute it across. Because once it's escalated to a high level, then INEC doesn't want that beaming on them. So that's what we need to first of all be doing with our phones. Once you get a video that indicts INEC, then we push it. You push it to INEC, you push it to the African Union, you push it globally. So when you do it like that, it begins to resonate because INEC will now know that a lot of groups are having it. Secondly, I think we need to maximize the influencers. We know that P Square is part of the influencers. These guys are influencing. So we have to leverage on influencers. We have to leverage the challenge. I know our political leaders in the East, most of them are not as consistent. That's why it has been very difficult because the Eastern leaders are not very consistent leaders like you have in the West or you have in the North. But we can start leveraging on a few of the leaders where if we hamp on their social media space because they want that space, then they don't have any other thing than to start reacting to what we are reacting to. But it's because there's not so much noise and heat on that space, so they feel comfortable. So these are the things we need to start really pushing, especially using our social media space in conjunction with all what we are adding to the party with respect to how do we start communicating. Then thirdly, I think messaging in simple language is very, very critical. What I've seen across board is people don't know what to do, even marketers, because the level of education, the level of knowledge is very, very poor. People are in their markets, people are doing their various activities. So if we can have it in 5 bullet points, this is your registration pattern. You do 1, you do 2, you do 3, you do 4, you do 5. Convert it to the language that they understand, so that even in our clusters, where people are in clusters, they can see, oh, these 5 things are the things to do. They are not, it's not ambiguous to them. We know exactly those that need to do their pre-registration, because based on the way INEC has done, every other thing can be done online. Every other thing can be done online except currently the new registrations. So if new registrations are where you have to go into to sit down and deal with it, then we have to now start saying, okay, how can we help those that just want a reprint of their cards, those that want other things? Those ones can be done based on laptops. Then clusters can work immediately. As soon as you go into an environment, we just say, okay, those people that don't have this, that want a reprint or that have lost their distance, then they can shift. And then that's where we'll reduce INEC loading and help our people. Because if we don't get it in this election, Nigeria is doomed. That is just the fact. There's no going out from it. So we have to do all it takes. So push on your handle, push on your Facebook page, hit INEC Facebook page. Immediately a hit comes on them and they see it being escalated, they respond to it. And that's why they started having chats, because people started responding with videos and all that. So let us keep the videos coming. Let us keep the information coming, videos and exact points where they are. And then people begin to escalate, put it on the pages of influencers. Influencers begin to escalate it, because for an influencer, he has almost 1 million subscribers. So by the time you push it on an influencer's page, irrespective of who that influencer is, you will suddenly see that it becomes a talking point. By the time you push it to United Nations, by the time you push it to African Union, then it becomes a Nigerian problem. And they don't have any, then they begin to see that actually there may be a kind of agenda to suppress a people group. And once that comes up, it becomes an issue. So we must use the social media has pushed many things. They push Me Too, they push different agendas. So once you push an agenda vigorously, then you begin to see INEC respond. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Sydney. So we go over to Ezechi.
Okay, good evening. Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. You're welcome.
Mr. Anambra, first on. I want to appreciate you for this particular space you just created. And so my contribution is this. Please, let's do, appreciate what you guys are doing in the Southeast. I'm aware about your movement in Southeast. I don't live in the Southeast. I live in Benin City. I live in Edo State. So I've been doing a lot of things about people getting their PVC. And this is the primary thing we should be doing now. Campaign has not even started. Our campaign now should be issue of PVC. That should be our focus. Let's bracket Peter Obi. Let's talk, encourage people to get their PVC first. I want to beg us to push and encourage our people, if possible, go to the major market in the Southeast, tell the market leaders, let them at least have a break for 1 or 2 days during the week so that more people can be registered. People can also have access to INEC REC in our different states. The INEC REC, the resident electoral commissioners of the different states. I've meeting with them like what I did yesterday. I wrote a letter to the INEC REC. I'll book appointment for today. Then when I call them today, they say that tomorrow INEC REC is not on seat. So I want to meet them and raise all the challenges, all the issues we have been. Because I don't want to say that it was my complaint that made Peter Obi tweeted what he tweeted about INEC today, because I have to get across to his somebody that is very close to him. I know he's always with him. I don't want to call the person's name here. And in less than 1 hour, I saw Peter Obi's tweet. I said, maybe this person has actually taken this thing very serious. The thing is that INEC is deliberately creating unnecessary bottlenecks in making sure that Peter Obi's supporters or Peter Obi's followers don't get registered. I am telling you, that is the basic truth. Here in Benin City, APC, they are buying INEC seriously. Because I'm aware that some INEC officials are in the payroll of Tinubu. Go and find out. I don't tell fake stories. I don't make fake statements. What I'm telling you is a fact. So they are being paid. I have relationship with some INEC people. I will be taking them to locations to register people so I can register more people. But I discovered that when they even go there, they will say only 50 people they want to register at this place. I say, why? People, and later I discovered that IPC has bought them over. So those APC people, they'll bring their own candidate as people that will be registered. It's only they finish registering those people that APC guys brought. That's when they will now start thinking of registering other people, other persons. So these are part of the issues we need to raise. Okay, and I told them, can't we also create a forum where we can register people weekend, like on Sunday, Saturday? There are some churches, like my church here. A lot of churches around here, they needed people to come to their place and come and register. Even my parish CMO chairman was even begging me if I can get them, because I know that I'm fully involved in this P2B movement. If I can beg INEC to come to the church and come and register people. And that's why we are some of the things we are doing. So please, whatever we can do, and this thing is, to be frank with you, is capital intensive. I know how much I'll spend trying to mobilize INEC and do a lot of things to make sure that more people are registered. So we need to also see how we can raise funds and support individuals that are doing this thing. Support yourself, please. I'm on my own. I'm doing the best I can with the little funds I have. So let's do all our best in this regard. Then again, I want to also make a point, please, that's very important. Please, I want to beg us. Let us not fall to those defeatist philosophy that P2B will not win. P2B does not have chance. It is a lie. Those people are in a WhatsApp group. They have paid them. Especially our Igbo brothers, they pay them handsomely to be trying to demoralize us, telling us that P2B will not win. But maybe we can say, okay, let Peter go and join this thing, so that they can lose. Peter will lose followers. It is a lie. We have done research. I'm a PhD researcher, social political philosophy. We have done research, political research. We check the voting blocks. There are 3 voting blocks in Nigeria. Peter Obi voting block has the highest number of registered voters after 2019. But
Sorry about that. Peter, I'm sorry. I didn't know when my hand touched there. Continue what you're saying, please. Hello, Peter. Ezechi Emeka. Emeka, can you hear me?
Ezechi.
Hello, Ezechi.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
So I'm sorry about that. I didn't know when my hand touched the.
No, okay, no problem, sir.
So,
so what I'm saying is that
please, just run up.
We have done analysis and discovered that the only thing we just need, let more people register, and those who have registered before, let's mobilize them to come out and vote. But Peter Obi is the president. Take it or leave it. I am telling you.
All right.
Because he has a clearer vision to achieve that particular conception of changing the country from consumption to production, which is very pregnant. Many people don't understand that statement. If you understand that statement, if you dissect that statement, it means that issue of power will be tackled. Issue of oil and gas will be tackled. Issue of unemployment will be tackled. Issue of education will be tackled. Issue of food consumption will be tackled. Issue of infrastructure, both physical and natural infrastructure, everything will be tackled. It's embedded in that. If you do research, what it means by taking a country from consumption to production, go and do the research and see. So I want to beg all of us, let nobody demoralize you that Peter will not win. Peter don't have a chance. They are being paid to do such, to start making that kind of propaganda. So please, let us stand up and support this movement. Don't give up. That is my position. I yield the mic.
All right. Thank you so much, Emeka. So we go over to, but before we do that, please, if you are just joining us, there is already existing structure that are mobilizing people across the Southeast and even beyond. Because we have someone in Port Harcourt. We are looking for someone that could actually help mobilize voters in Lagos, especially in the markets. We are looking at people that can go to the market and get our people's bio data. Those information that we needed to impute in INEC portal. We are looking for people that can do that in Lagos. So if you have the capacity, if you want to be part of that, then kindly indicate so that you can be part of this. We need to mobilize. It cannot, you see, there's something I cannot rationalize. And that's the fact that Benue State, Bayelsa, with local government, 8 local government, just 8 local governments, in fact, a local government in Bayelsa, as I learned, that is Nembe, I think, it is not up to Dunukofia local government in Anambra State, has over 10 beavers machine. 10. And Dunukofia is having just 2. And I don't think INEC is ignorant or not aware of this clarion call or the calls or the agitations from various quarters, especially from the Southeast. I am not sure. I don't think so. But at the same time, I don't want to give in. I do not believe in, complaining. I do not believe in defeatism. We have to find a way. That is always my motto. Finding a way to navigate around any problem that we are faced with. And that's why we excel in anywhere, any situation we find ourselves. So what we can do at this point is to get something concrete. And that's what I'm advocating for. That's why we are setting up this group. So if you want to be part of it, just check the Jumbotron. There are people who are already championing the cause in various locations. So if there is anyone that is lacking, you can indicate to be part of or to lead that location. We want to see our people go to markets, give these forms like flyer, get them registered. When you get loads of it, then we will go to court and meet INEC in the court. See, I am ready to spend my last card on this journey. If we get our people registered with the INEC form and INEC refuse to increase the beavers machine, then they will see us in the court. I am not kidding you. This is exactly what is going to happen. But don't bother about the next line of action. What we should bother ourselves with is how to get our people in rural areas, in suburb, every part of the country, to get them registered. That is what should be our priority. So if you want to be part of this, we also need to support, especially these people, young people who are doing this on their own. They need support. So if you have any way you can support them, reach out to them, on individual level. Tell them, what do you need to go to certain markets or to go to certain place to get people there registered. In Anambra State alone, over 70% of our people are not registered. They don't have PVC. So it is appalling. I went to university, Nandas University last year, to sensitize the young people on the need to get their PVC. And I was going from class to class. To be honest with you, it was embarrassing. I got to a final year class, art for that matter, I think, no, not political science, social sciences. I can't remember the particular class now. And we asked them, how many of you have PVC? Only 2% in the whole of the class. They went to another place. How many of you have PVC? Only 1. In fact, there are places you go, they are not even interested. Young people are not interested in registering, or they don't even have at all. But with the surge, or with the interest of the campaign that is, traveling around the country, or that is going around the country, and that's why we need to also, especially the P2B supporters, they need to find a way to target younger generations. These are the ones that are going to vote for P2B. These are the ones that can actually make the right decision. If you get them the demography of those who have never voted before, that have never been disappointed before, these are the people that you can actually target. So look out for where they are, get them educated on the need to get their PVC, and of course get them registered. If we can, I am sensing strongly that the federal government may call off strike towards the election in order to distract or to reduce the number of young people that will be part of the electoral process. I am sensing it strongly. I don't know, but I have a very strong feeling of that. But our young people should first of all get their PVC. Let them register in their residential area. Let it be in their residential, where they are residing, not in school, because they may still be in school, in their home when the election is going on. So these are the things that I'm thinking in my mind. But we have to continue. But we going to be bringing Sheikh. Sheikh, good evening. You're welcome to Southeast PVC registration strategy.
Yeah.
Space.
Hi everybody, and it's always good to come into these spaces, man. So the thing is, unfortunately, we have been met unprepared, and this is something I have been drumming for years. Like, we don't need to be caught unprepared. Mobilizing is a big thing, and this is the game. And it is very interesting to see that we are all waking up. Everybody now is seeing the interest. Politics is something you play around the clock. You don't go to sleep at any time. Now, in terms of how people have elections and getting PVCs and all of that, like what somebody said, you see the APC guys, they are stalwarts and all of that. They come in, they mobilize, they get these machines and all of that. See, it takes a lot of organization. I can't emphasize it anymore. Like, it takes a lot of organization. Unfortunately, we've not built structures before now, but the fact is, nothing beats somebody who is determined. Can we start building structures? So, for example, you want a machine on a Sunday. It is not easy. You won't get it for free. That is something I'm going to say here. Why you wouldn't get it for free is that machine needs to be signed out by an INEC official who is paid to work Monday to Friday. So the only way you're going to get a machine is that you're going to pay. If you're going to get a machine over the weekend, is that you're going to pay. If you're going to get a machine beyond 5 o'clock to a certain venue, you have to pay the extra and all of that. Now, most of these people you're seeing now, that you're seeing APC, PDP, these people bring money, like collectively, they bring real money. You know, they say real money. I come from a riverine community that when it's elections like this, because in my community, the problem we used to have is the fact that before the machine we get from the capital, from the local government headquarters to my village, it's about 2 hours. So if they tell you that the registration is going to start at 8 o'clock and end at 5, what it means is that before the person signs out the machine by 8 o'clock and get this machine to my village, it's about 11 o'clock. That is us losing 3 hours. This person will have to leave at about 3 o'clock to be able to get home for 5. So you see how we're already disenfranchised by just the fact of our geography. But now you need to be able to come in and speak to them and be able to talk about, okay, you go to the INEC commission now, you go to talk about it, you be like, see, this is all these things are laid out on papers and all of that. And the next thing is like, okay, yes, if this person is going to be paid extra and all of that, yes, we're going to be able to pay somebody extra to be able to have this machine, get a particular, maybe we have a river, you have to get a speedboat dedicated to pick this person up at so time. If you get, unfortunately, they send you someone that doesn't know the water, the person will not agree to go with the machine. So you have to make sure that the person that is deployed to you is someone that's willing to go on a speedboat. You rent a speedboat that is on standby to take this person in and out to be able to get all of this. Generators are powered and people pay for all those things. You pay for feeding. So it's a lot of this thing. Now, I cannot on public domain tell you all you need to do, but the fact is people need to become creative. And this is a time of lobbying. This is politics. You need to be able to, within your area, if you put 1,000, like for example, what we saw today in Alaba market, it is painful, but on one side, I'm questioning certain things. We have leaders in Alaba market. What are they doing? All the people that are orgas that we all see usually have mopos around the clock. This is where it comes to play. Where are all those mopos? Are they able to secure their own people and say, okay, see, we want our people to vote. We are going to make sure that we use our own security. We also have the power in the state. We also know this DIG. We know whoever it is and all of that. And we can be able to match these people power for power. This is how you play this game. If otherwise, it's just going to be us rapping all over the whole place. We need to use all our force, anything we can use to be able to make sure that we get something done. Sorry, 1 minute there. So there's a lot we need to do, but people need to just find a way to be able to start, wherever you find yourself, you need to start organizing within that place. Funding. This is not something that is free. See, nothing is given free in Nigeria. So people need to start saying, how do we raise money? Uche just raised the concern. Students should go register wherever you're going to register. See, as a student in 2003, I traveled from my school to my village to go and register. It's not now that you are doing online registration. I traveled from my school to go and register. I went back to my school, and since then, I have always gone for my elections from my village, from school, wherever I am in this world. Once it's election, I would be going back to my village. So people need to understand. At least one thing I've said in 2015 is the fact that Buhari was going to perform so poorly that people are going to wake up. We are waking up, but we need to wake up more. We need to wake up faster. We need to make sure that, see, everywhere you go, it needs to be organization. It is not a case of, if I just come, I will do my own. No. Do you people want to get to a place and say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, how do we organize this thing? Okay, do we take numbers so that it doesn't be like this?
Do we go in and speak? Do we have people who are here who can go in and speak to these people and let us have an organization? Do we have a list? Because what we discourage people is, if somebody consider how many days they will be off their shop, it's going to become a problem. Can we create a list at the local government point where we say, this list is what we're going to be using throughout? If we give people number, this is their phone number and all of that. People can come back at so time. So, madam, every day we do 100 people. This 100 people come so day. Tomorrow, this 100 people come. These are organizations that can be done at every local government level. So the point I'm going to leave with everybody here is, wherever you find yourself, you need to be creative. You need to organize yourselves. And beyond the organization, don't think you're only organizing for PVC, because it's one thing to register people for PVC, but we need to retain these people to be able to vote right. So it is not just a case of saying, so as you're organizing them, that's where that comes, because that person that is registering with you there most likely will be voting in that same place. So you people need to start having that conversation of, who are you going to vote? Why are you voting for this person? What is important for us to vote for? This conversation needs to start happening now. The same way people know yourself now is the same way you need to know yourselves when you're going to vote as well, because that is how you're able to prevent all these people that will come and threaten you and all of that. So it is a whole long thread that we need to look at the full chain. But the most important thing is we need to organize ourselves, and wherever you find yourself, you need to become a leader in that position. Don't think anybody's going to come from anywhere. The leadership right now, this is the leadership we're talking about. If you find yourself in the streets, be the leader there. If you find yourself in a local government, be the leader there. Nobody's going to give us our country ourselves. We have to take it ourselves, and everybody needs to take that responsibility, and together we shall win. So people like us are all out here. You can reach out to me, your DM, if you need anything. If you want us to amplify anything, Uche, with my contact. If you want to reach out to me, my DM. If you want to go through TBN, Take Back Nigeria, we're working and making sure that we're going to create more channels for people to be able to communicate and bring back any information they want, creating support networks and all of that. All of these are in the pipeline. But the fact is, everybody needs to be on deck. All hands must be on deck. Anybody that tells you third force is not going to work, P2B is not going to work, I tell them the only thing that makes something impossible is nobody has dared before. The only reason we have a car today is that somebody decided to think outside the box. The only reason that we have people using electricity today is somebody who was willing to try it 99 times. And when they asked him, he said, well, he found 99 ways of not making electricity work. So the point is, a third force has never won an election. In Nigeria, before 2015, the incumbent has never been defeated. So 2015 was the first time that an incumbent was defeated in Nigeria. So that tells you what? There's always a first time. And it's only for those who dare. So the point is, we are going to dare. And the truth is, win or lose, we're going to walk up with our head up high. So because today you hear them, they'll tell you he doesn't have a structure. If we go to this election and we live with 5 million votes, that is the structure we've built. We will capitalize on that. It is a marathon. It is not an event. But the point is, at the moment, I think we're upbeat that here with the numbers we're having right now, with the number of people trying to register, with the number of people trying to give their resources in terms of time. Because every time they tell you we don't have money, let me tell you people, anytime people tell you that Obi team doesn't have money, what they fail to understand, I've worked in elections a long time ago. What will be done by 10 naira for 10 naira by PDP, they will amplify it and call it 100,000. What will be done by 2 people, they'll claim it's 10 people that do it so that they can increase the money. So sometimes the cost that you see on paper is not actually the real cost, is that people have shared the money round. We are creative in this generation. We are creative. We can do things. And what creativity does to you is that what? You can do more with little resources. With the skill set we have, with the knowledge we have, with the talent we have, with the commitment we have, the fact is, we can dare. And I challenge everybody here. Be the leader wherever you find yourself. Street, church, your family. Be the leader wherever we can go. The fact is, we are going on this journey for the next 8 months. And the truth is, if we hold our hands together, we will leave no one behind. And at the end, we will have all cause to be happy about this journey. So let us keep pushing. But most importantly, organize yourselves wherever you are. Go and talk to those people that call themselves INEC, whoever they are. They are human beings. They always have a buying price. There's something that you can use to negotiate with them. Find what you can use to negotiate with them. You want to video and threaten them? You want to tell them that, see, this, there must be something. But the fact is, you need leadership. You need good communication skills. Bring whatever it is in you. Because what? 8 years of suffering, my brother, nobody want to do that one. No? All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Sheikh, for that, and I appreciate your deep insight and your contribution. So let's go to Kelechi without wasting much time. Kelechi, let's have your contribution on this.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, I want to speak on the legal point of view whether INEC could be sued in respect of this registration. Now, if you look at Section 77 of the 1999 Constitution, sub 2, says that everybody who has attained the age of 18 residing in Nigeria at the time of registration of voters for the purpose of election shall be entitled to be registered. That is Section 77, sub 2 of the 1999 Constitution. Now, if you also look at the Electoral Act, Section 10 talks about voter registration from Section 9, and then Section 10 talks about continuous registration. Now, what the law provided is that registration and updating of voters registers should only stop not later than 90 days before election, which means INEC can continue to register if they choose to. Maybe from now till October, okay, November, December, January, then 90 days before general election. Now, there is another point whether you can sue INEC for not registering a qualified voter. There is what, just like other speakers were saying, we have to arrange ourselves. And I want to make this suggestion that each of the centers that the people are going to register, I think they should have names. For instance, you have a record of names. Somebody who is in charge of that center may have list of names that they'll submit to INEC, that is to people registered in that particular center. And if it appears to the person that those numbers are not being registered, then informal letter can be written to them for them to perform an action. Because before you bring action against INEC in respect of this registration, it is what they call in law mandamus, because they are performing public function, it's a public duty. The law requires that before a public body will be sued for not performing that public office, in some areas, but not in all cases. For instance, in this one, they must have been asked to perform that public office. For instance, if INEC, you want them to register now, and maybe they are failing in that duty, the law, if you are coming by way of mandamus, you must have asked them, okay, this is your function, do it. And if they fail to do it, then you can bring action. And it is always very, not as tedious, though we know Nigerian legal system, but it's not as tedious as going through what they call it of summons and other ways of bringing actions in court. So for the issue of lawyers, I base in Lagos basically, but when it comes to the issue of lawyers, we have of lawyers in every city in the East. Because now we are in a place we are concentrating on the registration of voters in this. There is no way we cannot get. In fact, I personally I will volunteer my services free of charge. If you have any place that they're supposed to register some persons and INEC are not registered, compile the list. For instance, we have like 10, 15, 20, and more of such names. Take it to them. This is the people who want to register, or the day that they want to register in organized manner, so that they won't say, oh, you come with violence, so you did this, so and you did that. Let them not register those people. You write to them for them to perform their public function, because it is their duty in accordance with the Constitution and the Electoral Act. They have the any person who is 18 years, there is no basis upon which the person should be denied to be registered to vote, because they have the right to vote and able to be voted for. So my own contribution is that the last week I just talked about the issue of planning. We should be very, very strategic in this election. We should be extremely very, very strategic. They are saying that Igbo doesn't, they don't have the number of voters, but it is not true. Look at what is happening in Alaba. Up to thousands of people going to register. Those who have not registered before. So if they tell you that Lagos has a certain number of voters, yes, apart from the indigenous Yorubas who are in Lagos, the second most populous voters are Igbos. Now, if you come to the East, why they will appear that we don't have number of voters? We don't do election, they will just some of our Igbo brothers will be in the Ojebego without voters card. For this time around, all of us come out, everybody did campaign should go to the nooks and crannies of every place in Igbo land. Let everybody who is up to 18 years make sure that he register to vote. It is his right. So if there is any challenge on the issue of registration, my DM is open. I have lawyers in Enugu, I have in Abia, I have in Bonny, I have in Anambra that we can team up together. And insofar as this process is concerned, no lawyer is going to charge any professional fee for it. We are not doing it for any other person, we are doing it for ourselves. If Nigeria is good, it's not going to be good for any person, particular person. Oh, you do this. And no sacrifice is enough. No sacrifice is too much. So what I'm assuring us is that if any of these places, maybe from the first of them, maybe they don't want to register, or maybe they are holding machine simply because it is that particular part of the country. Please, you should notify us. We are going to do as much as we can to make sure that everybody registers. Thank you very much.
Okay. I want to ask a question. We know that the urban areas in the east are seeing effort from people. I'm looking for people that will go to the rural areas. How do we get people that will go to the rural areas and get people to register for this voters registration? I just want someone to give me an idea of that.
All right. Thank you so much, Kelechi. This is a very important part of this conversation, because I said earlier that we have to be very bold in our decision. One of the things we have failed to do as a people, we have been so laid back. Sometimes when someone matches you, you have to stand up and push the person back. We have to apply pressure. We have to start applying pressure in the way and manner we approach issues. If we continue to treat some of these things the way we treat it, the way we, gloss over it, we will continue to have the same problem. So, from here, from where I'm speaking from, I know that I have, a number of people that have discussed this, that we are not going to continue to tolerate this nonsense from INEC anymore, but we have to do our due diligence. We have to organize ourselves, and that's where we have lacked over the years. We need to start applying some level of aggression, some level of intensity on the way and manner we relate with some of these agencies. We cannot continue to entertain it and be crying like a lost sheep. No, we cannot continue to do that. And that's what I'm saying to everybody. Look, if you know that you have what it takes, or if you know you can do anything to improve the number of voter registration across Igbo land, check the last tweet that I put up on this Jumbotron. There is a form there, and that form is in every INEC office across the nation. I want every single person within this team, within the team that is organizing this voter registration, to get this form. Go and collect it and send it across every nook and cranny of Igbo land. Get it back as soon as it's filled. Then we will now tell INEC what to do, because they are supposed to send the Beavers machine to every polling unit. That is the mandate. They are giving us excuse that the insecurity is the reason why they are restricting it to local government. Whereas the local government has only 2 persons. In a whole local government like Dunukofia has only 2 machines. That is not acceptable. So we have to begin to take our destiny into our hands. We have to begin to speak boldly on these issues. And the problem is, look at us. We are the ones talking about it. Where are the political leaders in the Southeast? Where are the interest groups? Where are they? So that is actually, these are the These are the problem. Tomorrow, somebody will come and complain that we are being marginalized. We are being. What are you doing? What are you saying at this point? At least the one within our home. That is where the challenge is, and that is the problem I have, with the political leaders in the Southeast. So we can't continue to wait for them. We can't continue to beg and whine about all these things. Since we have come out to take the bold step, let's do that. If you are in any part of Alibo and you know or you want to be part of this process, please identify with any individual, because my DM is filled with a lot of people, lodging their complaints, reporting issues. I can't tell them to stop coming, and I leave it open for that. But I cannot attend to everybody. I am in Anambra State. I can't attend to somebody in Nsukka or in Afipo, and that's why I was able to bring people in strategic areas, so that when we have issues or we have issues in Afipo, for example, we'll be able to have somebody that will treat it immediately from there. So if you are anywhere and you are interested in getting our people registered, part of the strategy that we are putting up is to go and get this form. This form is from INEC. But the good thing is that while getting the form, we also have their contacts. Every single person that you're giving this form must give you the contact, so that you're able to communicate with the person for the next step, especially on the biometrics, and of course, the PVC collection, because it's very critical. I keep saying it. The reason why I am bringing this up here, for us to understand different perspectives or different layers of the problem, the colors of the problem, so that whatever solution that we are profiling, will something that can actually somehow accommodate some of these things. For example, what happened in Lagos State today, we have to think around how we can solve it or how we can navigate around it. It means that we cannot close our shop again and go to the INEC office. We cannot do that. But that does not mean that we are cowards. Now, the suggestion I will have is that if we have volunteers within markets like Ojo Alaba market, who would go to INEC, accustomed by police, since they are disenfranchising us or chasing us away, you write to police. Then, if you do not get any good response, then there should be a feedback. Then the feedback will be on the INEC. Since we cannot go to your office to assess this form, can you bring it to us? If you refuse, then we will take it to. That's exactly what I'm saying, because we can't continue to whine and complain and post it on social media and tell everybody why we are marginalized and cry up and down night, evening, afternoon. It is tiring. It is exhausting. I do not want to, I no longer want to entertain it anymore. And that's why I'm saying that if you have any solution they're bringing on the table, come on stage, table it, let's hear it. So thank you, Kelechi, for your guidance and advice. I will reach out to you. It is part of the things that we are considering. Of course, it's our last resort, but we have to do due diligence. We have to do the right thing. And that's why I encourage all of us to join the train of campaign. It is a bit late, but we can get it done. There is also a constitution. I'm not a lawyer, but I heard that there is a. Okay, let me leave it. Let me not talk about that, because it may derail us. So let's go over to the next speaker.
Sorry, one minute. All right. So there's something somebody mentioned here. So I think it was Kelechi. You talked about INEC statutorily cannot stop registration. But now that is the thing about English language. English language is very strict. So you need to pay attention to how INEC will play the game. INEC never stops registration. Go and check all their papers when they put out their publication. They don't say we stopped registration. They tell you we are suspending registration. So what they will tell you is, in order to be able to get the register ready before the next election coming, we are going to suspend the registration. So that's what the line they would use. They never stop the registration. So that's one. Two, it's somebody talked about how do we get people to the rural communities. See, the fact remains, we traveled home for Christmas, we go home for traditional marriages, we go home for all of that, right? See, this is our life. Anywhere you are, people have their village WhatsApp group. People have their, is it high school, whatever groups. This is the time. If you don't have the young ones in the village, there's that retired principal who lives in your village. There's that retired civil servant who lives in the village. Who knows what he's doing? Who knows how to read and write? Do you people want to contribute money? This is not the time to buy a shebi. This is not the time to contribute money. Oh my God, the wedding. Moko support the wedding for Bachelor's Eve. This is the time to put the money where it matters. This is the time to say, we are 40, we know ourselves, whether you live in Cameroon, Yaoundé, whether you live in Yugoslavia. This is the time to come together and say, can we raise 1 million naira and be able to ensure that this money is put towards mobilizing people in our community? Because I'll always give an example, because my community is one of the most difficult to reach, because these people live in camps, fisher camps. We rent speedboats to bring them out. These are people who bring out this money. We rent speedboats. You will pay money to rent the speedboat to go into the camps and bring them out. You will cook for them, because you can't go and bring somebody out from the camp to come and register to vote. He doesn't care about the election. But you people who know what to do will contribute money once they start these things. You rent speedboats, you go and organize them, you tell them the days of each camp, they will organize their farms. The day you bring them out in the morning, because when they come out, they will stay till morning till night. Sometimes they will even sleep over. So you would arrange for all of that. Canopies, you will organize food to be cooked for them. You would do everything. This is the fact, this is the game. You need these numbers at the end of the day. And it's good that we're all seeing the effect of the numbers. So it is no longer time to say, when it's a shebi, you see people, they would not sleep. They are calling everybody's phone. They are making sure, oh, it's my girl's Bachelor's Eve. Bachelor's Eve for the guy. It's my girl's, what they call it, hen do, or whatever they call it. Oh, we need to organize it. It needs to be paying. This is the time to do the one that matters for you. Contribute, whether you're male or female. This is not a case of, oh, it is the guy's thing. This is a case of, look at your community. Go look back. Do you have a Facebook group? Do you have a WhatsApp group? This is the time to call people and say, see, if you want 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, anything, if you don't have young people that you would do it and travel to the village, you would have people who are either retired civil servants, retired teachers, who can do who can read and write properly, who can be able to encourage people, who can speak the languages and all of that. So everybody needs to be involved. Do you want to print t-shirts? Do you want to give them some incentive? It is your community, because this is what matters. We will still take this to the local government elections, because now if you mobilize these people, the local government elections that were coming, when we now start saying young people should go to the local government elections, these are the votes that will count again. So this needs to be taken with all seriousness. No stone needs to be left unturned. Anyhow you know how to go about it, but money is important, and people should be able to commit those funds. Sacrifice, make that little sacrifice now, so that we can get things done. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. I was gonna call Obiara. So after Obiara, Blossom. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Wow, it's been a very exciting space. There was something I'd like to make everyone here understand. Now, most of us started voting 2015. Some started voting 2011 during Goodluck Jonathan's time. Okay, let me put it this way to you. Some were still in secondary school, could not vote, but wish they could vote, but they couldn't do it. Now, what you guys are doing, you're trying to vote for on election day for the leader you want. Now, this is the thing about voting. Voting election is about data. Pure and simple. It's about data. What is data? Data is population. This is what these politicians use to allocate money or to work in anywhere. What they need is just population count of people who want me to be with them. That is pure and simple. Now, how do you now break it down? These guys who have been ruling us have been presidents all this while. Who we call the masters of the game. How are they the masters of the game? These are guys who